the biggest news out of this weekend was, of course, Trump actually spoke at CPAC. Here's a little bit of that now.
Hello, CPAC. Do you miss me yet? Do you miss me yet? To so many wonderful friends, conservatives, and fellow citizens in this room and all across our country, I stand before you today to declare that the incredible journey we begun together, we went through a journey like nobody else. There's never been a journey like it. There's never been a journey so successful. We began it together 4 years ago, and it is far from being over. We've just started.
So, of course, that is awesome. You know, and of course, we do miss Trump. I miss Trump. I think everybody really misses Trump, and we've been able to really see exactly why we've missed him. And he goes through all of that, of course, in the speech, which we'll be getting to as well. But the first thing he started off with is basically debunking this idea of Trump starting a new party. So many people, I've seen it on Twitter, I've seen it on Parler, I've seen it all over the place. A lot of conservatives are saying Trump's going to start his own party. He's going to do the Patriot Party. He's going to have the Trump Party, the MAGA Party, is what a lot of people have been talking about. Now, when I first heard about this, my first thought was, I mean, in essence, it sounds really cool. It really does. It sounds like a great idea for actual patriots to get together that really believed in what Trump was doing. The problem is that the GOP is still the vessel in which many voters are actually going to be looking to. So if you start a Patriot Party, I think a lot of people online will join. But those people that aren't concerned about the everyday workings of Twitter and aren't online all the time dealing with these types of issues day to day could care less about a Patriot Party. And all you'll basically do is further split the vote, because everybody that is for this Patriot Party won't vote along with the Republicans that are already in office or vote with them and anyone with an R against their name. You're basically taking away the elections. And anyone who's running under the Patriot Party has a 0% chance of winning any election. And so Trump gets into that a little bit here.
Before, I am not starting a new party. That was fake news. Fake news, no. Wouldn't that be brilliant? Let's start a new party and let's divide our vote so that you can never win. No, we're not interested in that.
And of course, he's correct. That's exactly what I'm talking about. The idea of doing this isn't the best idea. In essence, I get it. I really do. I do understand the reasoning of wanting to do that. I think it's a cool idea. But the problem is that we have a better chance of reforming the GOP from the inside out than we do trying to just split away from it. And Trump is that catalyst. He is the person, the figurehead of the GOP. Now, that may leave a wrong taste in many other Republicans' mouths. Maybe it does. The ones that maybe voted for impeachment, which Trump gladly called them out, of course, in that speech as well. It may not be great for them. They may not like hearing that, but it is the truth. Regardless of whether they want to separate themselves from Trump or not, it's not going to happen. It just will not happen no matter how much they try. And they can continue to pull this stuff off like that, but it isn't going to get them anywhere. Ultimately, it really won't. So I understand that we don't like a lot of these establishment Republicans. I don't either. But we can change that once again, finding better new candidates to primary these people that have voted for impeachment, that are not on our side whatsoever. We need to primary these people. Do it through the GOP. Let Trump be the one that endorses the new candidates that are actually going to fight for the freedoms that we have in this country. That's what we need to do. And of course, Trump in the speech could not stop himself from taking a few jabs at Biden as well.
Yet Biden said just a few days ago that when he got here, meaning the White House, there was no vaccine. He said, there's no vaccine? Oh, good. Say it again, Joe. Now, I don't think he said that, frankly, in a malicious way. I really don't. I actually believe he said that because he didn't really know what the hell was happening.
So I love this clip here for one main reason, and it's simply the fact that Trump was right about the vaccine this entire time. A lot of people really haven't focused on that. A lot of the news outlets haven't even mentioned that since Biden has been in the White House. But the fact is is that we would not have the vaccine today if it wasn't for Trump. Plain and simple, okay? You have so many useless government agencies that oftentimes get in the way. And what these things do is that they slow down production. They make things take so much longer than they really should, like specifically the FDA. It was Trump that was fighting through the FDA to cut all of the weird regulations and things that would have taken so much time. It was Trump that actually was able to circumvent that process and allow for the vaccine to be produced in a much quicker time. And a lot of people don't want to acknowledge that. Joe Biden does not want to acknowledge that. Everyone said it would have been impossible. And here's Trump basically saying as much.
Put up billions and billions of dollars, 10 billion, to produce the vaccines before we knew they were going to work. It was called a calculated bet or a calculated risk. We took a risk because if we didn't do that, you still wouldn't have the vaccines. You wouldn't have them for a long time. So think of that. We took this bet. We made a bet because we thought we were on a certain track. But you'd be starting to make them right now. It'd be a long time before you ever saw them. It takes 60 to 100 days to manufacture and inspect new doses. And that means that 100% of the increased availability that we have now was initiated by our administration. 100%.
So I want you to take a second to remember at the debates, they were doing this thing, but it was between Trump and Joe Biden, obviously, and they were going back and forth about this whole vaccine idea. And you had the moderator there basically telling everyone, Trump and all the people that were watching this debate, that there was no way that they would get a vaccine out in time.
Right away, we have the military all set up logistically. They're all set up. We have our military that delivers soldiers, and they can do 200,000 a day. They're going to be delivering.
This is the same man
it's
who
all
told
set
you
up.
By Easter this would be gone away. By the warm weather it'd be gone. Miraculous, like a miracle. And by the way, maybe you could inject some bleach in your arm, and that would take care of it. This is the same man.
That was said sarcastically. That was you know that. That was said sarcastically.
And so here's the deal: this man is talking about a vaccine. Every serious company is talking about maybe having a vaccine done by the end of the year, but the distribution of that vaccine will not occur until sometime beginning or the middle of next year to get it out.
Save that clip. Seriously. Save that clip because I have a very good feeling that it's going to be very difficult to find very soon because Democrats don't want you to see that. They don't want you to know that Trump was right this entire time. They don't want you to know that Trump was producing the vaccine way ahead of the trials just so that if it worked, it would already be ready to distribute amongst everyone. They don't want you to know that. What they want you to think is that Joe Biden is solely responsible for this. And Joe Biden, honestly, like Trump said, he probably doesn't even remember what was actually happening this entire time. But regardless, remember that clip. Save that clip because Democrats will tell you otherwise. That it was Joe Biden that somehow produced this vaccine. When in reality, all of the work, everything that was done, everything that has been accomplished so far with this vaccine is due to the Trump administration, and Democrats will do everything they can to take that away from Trump. Plain and simple. Overall, in my opinion, I think it was a very good speech. I think Trump basically got the point home that he was trying to get home, that he is the Republican Party. Trump is the figurehead of the Republican Party, the GOP. It doesn't matter what a lot of other people say. It doesn't matter what the other politicians want. It simply is the case. So they actually did a poll, the same guy that was doing the polling and all that stuff while Trump was actually president. He was doing the polls for CPAC. And he basically showed that 97% of people are still in approval of Trump. And that if he would have run again in 2024, that the vast majority would have voted for him. Second to that would have been Ron DeSantis, governor of Florida. But other than that, Trump was still the clear and obvious front runner. Now, time may change that. We have a while. We have almost 4 years to go before something might change. But I still feel like whoever Trump endorses is going to be crucial going forward, not only in local elections, but also in the presidential race as well. Will Trump run in 2024? He keeps alluding to it. So he's definitely leaving that process open, leaving that possibility open. So only time will tell. But regardless of how and what he chooses to do, I think that CPAC came to a very good close with Trump just laying it out there, being Trump, and he looks great after taking what was probably a much needed break from politics for a while. But we want to see more of him. We want to see what the future of the GOP is, and Trump is clearly leading that charge. Anybody that's standing in that way, anyone that's keeping that from happening or doesn't agree with it, might as well kiss their career goodbye. You just watched a clip from The William Hall Show. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe.